The power of myths is undeniable. Myths have shaped our world more than anything else to date, the biggest myths being religion. They teach us right from wrong, good from evil, and what a hero should do. They shape our moral fiber and help us create our own inner monologue of being the hero of our own story. No matter what your favorite myth is, be it Jesus Christ or Luke Skywalker, they all have a common and wonderful theme throughout them. We open ourselves up to these myths, let them in, and let them forge a new path for us. There are different types of myths. Some teach us simple lessons like Germanic nursery rhymes, most of which turn into Disney movies. Some a lot more complex. The two most common of these are the hero myth and the healing myth. The one I think we relate to with the most is the hero myth. This myth is one we are all very familiar with. The myth is a normal, seemingly underwhelming individual that gets called to action to save themselves, someone else, or perhaps an entire civilization. We relate with this one so much because they tend to start in a mundane situation. We empathize with this stagnant life, with their need to be something more than what they already are. When we watch them go through the phases of what it takes to become the hero they are meant to be, we can feel it in our bones, almost like we are there with them, growing, becoming stronger, wiser, getting ready to take on what we know is inevitable. The healing myth, although not as massively produced, is still a very important one. This myth focuses on starting as broken or unwell and needing to go out not to defeat evil or save the innocent, but rather to find ourselves, to become whole. This myth usually doesn't have as many archetypes as the hero myth and is usually an inward adventure rather than an outward one. All myths tend to share a lot of the same archetypes you see in the hero's myth. Obviously you have the hero, wouldn't be much of a story without that one. The hero is one we identify with the most, the main character we follow throughout this journey. Along the way, our hero encounters the teacher, the shadow figure, the trickster, the helpers, and even some animal archetypes in some myths. The teacher is the character that guides our hero. In the rendition of the Greek myth Hercules, made very popular by Disney in 1997, the teacher in this myth is Philoctetes, who is our hero trainer, who prefers Phil for short. He takes Hercules on small quests and training montages to get him ready for his big fight against Hades. He mentors Hercules, and although at first he's reluctant to help, his faith in this hero grows, as Hercules' faith in himself does as well. Our shadow figure in this myth is Hades, the ruler of the underworld. He is the one who made Hercules half human and sent him to Earth to be raised by mortals. Throughout our hero's journey, it is Hades who is constantly trying to foil Hercules' plan to become a true hero. One of the helpers is Hercules' pet Pegasus. Throughout the journey, the Pegasus is there as sort of a sidekick, showing us that even a demigod like Hercules needs some help along the way. Another helper is Meg, Hercules' love interest in this story. Although Meg doesn't help Hercules directly in this story, what she ultimately does is give Hercules a reason to self-sacrifice, which in turn makes him a true hero that he had set off to become. Even though myths, like Hercules, are about gods and demons, we still learn a lot about ourselves from their stories. What we find out watching Hercules is that his main battle is not with Hades, but rather with himself. He is overconfident, which blinds him to his true purpose. He takes unnecessary risks because of his attitude. From this, we learn that confidence and cockiness aren't the same thing, and that doing things for others should not to be gained the label of hero, but rather because it is the right thing to do. Hercules finds this out finally when he sacrifices his life to save his love, Meg. We learn that even though you are doing the right thing, that intention means something. Perhaps you are only helping others because of the glory that comes with it. To me, this is a deeper level of hero story. It doesn't just focus on doing the right thing, but having the right intention. It makes us look at why we do the right thing. Hero myths also teach us a lot about what we want to become. One of my favorite movies growing up was Merlin. Most people recognize this name as the teacher archetype for the Sword in the Stone movie, or the stories about King Arthur. This movie focuses on Merlin himself as the hero and what made him who he is. In this story, our hero is poised against his own creator and mentor, Queen Mab. This myth takes a different look at the archetypes where certain roles transition from teacher to shadow figure and from helper to trickster. Our hero learns magic from Mab and her assistant Frick, only to betray them both for what is just in our hero's eyes. I love this story because even though a mentor can bring you so far, sometimes their intentions are not what align with yours. Just because someone helped you get to where you are in life doesn't necessarily mean that they are on the right side of good and evil. Myths can teach us so much: what is right and wrong, who to trust, how to grow and overcome, and how to pick ourselves back up after seemingly endless failure. To never give up, that's my favorite. With all the different heroes out there, we have an endless option of guides to help us along our journey. In the end, each hero we watch becomes our teacher, our helper, and our mentor. We take their lessons as our own. We grow alongside them and become better and more resilient. We feel their loss and we celebrate their triumphs. Hopefully in time, we can be our own hero and continue this gift to others.